What's up, guys? Luca here. Luca Teal, yes, the Ashen one, the Ashen Lucario, the Ashen Luca. It's me. I'm here with another episode of the show. Joining me today, as always, is Singer. And yeah, man, how are you? How you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Enjoying that greatness that is Persona 3 Reload.
Yes, I too am enjoying the greatness that is Persona 3 Reload. I think I'm enjoying it a little bit too much because I played so much of it that I'm starting to feel that fatigue pretty heavy. I think I'm like actually I have to double check, but I'm level 64 right now. So you can guesstimate how many hours I have in it, you know what I'm saying?
A
But
lot. Because my only metric is, because I don't want to reveal anything, obviously, I'm at floor 194 in Tartarus right now.
yeah, I'm floor 179.
Okay, so you're in the new section. Okay.
Yeah, I'm someone who fights every shadow I come across basically. So, you
Yeah,
know,
fair enough.
yeah, I fi like, I because I'm trying to get the money, I'm trying to grind, I'm trying to get the levels, so, I'm really enjoying it, though. I finally started, like, actually strategizing of creating my personas and making like, "Okay, I need to have, resist dark because this persona is weak to dark," stuff like that. I finally started doing stuff like that. So, I'm having fun with it. I'm enjoying the, persona creation, and I'm enjoying the game. I'm enjoying the story. I think like the story more than I like Persona 5. I think the stakes are higher. But man,
Yeah,
that Tartarus is it's kinda rough, man.
it is rough, but the one thing I found with fusing my personas, I always make sure I have almighty damage or
Mhm.
whatever it is,
Yeah,
because
Almighty's great.
I just run all my personas have that on it and need to make sure they have Megdelio or whatever it is.
Mhm.
Because you just steamroll through the opposition. Because obviously you don't have to worry about, oh, are they weak to this? No, just nuke them.
Yeah.
Call it a day.
For sure. Alright, but, what's up, Mason? What's up, Tristan? I see Mason and Tristan had a nice little conversation before the show. It's awesome. What's up, Aaron? What is up, Gregor? What's up, Capono? What's up, Drav? What's up, Melodic? What's up, Smitty? What's up, Lino? What's up, Nola? What's up, Breeski? What's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Go ahead and tweet the show out. Okay. Alright, so what do you wanna talk about first?
Anything.
Anything? You wanna talk about that heinous Xbox post?
Which one? They
Which
had a
one?
couple.
We
Yeah,
gotta narrow it down, you know? The one that was like, "You don't gotta beat your games."
oh, that
Actually, I don't
one.
know. What did they say? Um,
I need to
someone sent it to
relook at it. It was oh, something about you didn't have to beat your games. Let me have a look.
let me see.
There it is. I got it.
Alright.
Um, Shout out to the Xbox Twitter. It's perfectly okay to start a game, enjoy that game, but never actually finish said game. Uh, this is tragic on so many levels.
I mean, yeah, it's just so random because it's like, what's the point of this? I understand that the Xbox Twitter account is there to promote Xbox and also to, update the masses to Xbox information, right? Like, that's the primary focus of that account. But it's just stuff like that. It doesn't make the Xbox brand look good, which I mean, it's inconsequential ultimately, but it's just kind of like adding on to the pile of anti-Xbox rhetoric that's already running wild. And for a very long time, there was this idea and concept that Xbox don't play games and that kind of thing, right? Which stemmed from Xbox players not wanting to show their gamer tag because, quote unquote, you're gonna stalk me. Oh, I'm being stalked right now. You guys are just coming at me because you want to stalk, like that kind of nonsense. When in reality, people just want to know what your gamer tag is and um, everything, so they can just make
Mm.
sure that you're actually, playing and beating the games that you're discussing. Because there's nothing wrong, like, I'm gonna say this for me, I don't play a lot of games at this point, I only play things that I'm interested in, and, getting me to be interested in something, it takes a lot, like, it takes a lot, but I'm not over here bragging about beating games I haven't beaten. I'm not over here hopping into spaces trying to talk about something that I've never played before, or trying to speak about a game or speak on a game with this authority because I want to be seen and I want to be heard. I don't do shit like that. I say, yeah, I didn't play that shit, and I move on, you know? And it's like, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much like the gist of it. So it's just, it's one of those things where I'm like, "All right, man." Like I said, there is nothing wrong with starting a game, playing it, and not beating it. That's perfectly fine. That's like whatever, right? But again, the issue just comes when you try to speak on the game and try to act like you have some sort of knowledge on the game, or it's like when these reviewers are like, "Oh, I don't need to beat a game to give it a proper review. I can just play a set amount of hours." And which that doesn't work, and I've used examples before. I really was enjoying my time with Assassin's Creed Origin right until I got to the multiple false endings. The fact that they kept tricking me, I kept thinking like this has to be the end, and it wasn't the end. It just kept going. It just kept going to the point where I was just like, yeah, I'm fatigued. Like I used to play Assassin's Creed so often. I was a big Assassin's Creed fan. My favorite Assassin's Creed is Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Is still the best one in my opinion. But yeah, Assassin's Creed Origins, I started off loving it and then ended up being like really annoyed about it in total because it just kept going and I got tired of playing, you know what I'm saying? And I know that
Mhm.
sounds weird when it's like if you really like something, you shouldn't get tired of playing it, but that's just not the truth at all. Like in my opinion, if you are God, maybe it's because I'm old at this point, right? But I spent like 8 hours straight playing Persona 3 Reload. Now, that's on me. That's on me for sitting there for fucking 8 hours playing that damn game, okay? Of course I feel fatigue.
Mhm.
You do one thing for 8 hours, you're gonna be exhausted, right? But, it's just one of those things where I just genuinely feel that if you're gonna review a game, you gotta beat it. Like, you can give impressions of a game, but to review it, I think you need to beat it. And to speak on it with some level of authority, I think that you should, actually be well versed in key aspects of the game, which is why I only speak on the things that I've beaten, in the sense that if I'm talking about them at length or talking about their flaws or talking about, what I've enjoyed about them, I feel like it's pretty clear and pretty obvious when people talk to me about certain, different titles. It's like, "Okay, yeah, this bitch has actually played the game." And even if I, didn't sound like I had played the game or beat the game, I can pull up my stats, you know what I'm saying? Like, my gamer tag and my PlayStation name, they're on my Twitter account. I don't hide it. I don't feel the need to hide it, mostly 'cause I don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't think it's that big of a deal to show off your gamer tag or your trophies or anything like that. I don't think it really hurts anybody. Yeah, there are a couple of people, they'll get a couple of messages that are just, unsavory, but for the most part, most people are not sending harassing messages like that. They just wanna make sure you're actually playing the games that you're talking about, and then when people get into the whole denying aspect and they start acting like showing their gamer tag is like showing your social security, then that's when things start to become a problem, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree. Because it's beat your games if you don't. If you don't, it's whatever. My stuff is out there. But it's you could track it and see what I've been playing. I don't get burnt out as much. Um, the only time it happened is Assassin's Creed, but that's because it's not necessarily because I was tired, but the actual game bored me. So like the
That's fair.
mechanics, having to go around the map, etc. Because I've done it before where I played like two really long RPGs back to back, like playing the Trails of Cold Steel series. Now they're 80 hours each, and I did one back to back after I beat the first one, beat the second one, beat the third one, beat the fourth one. After that, I was tired, but anyone would be. But because you just beat 80-hour long games back to back to back. Um, but yeah, just do your thing, and if you don't beat your games, just don't. That's the problem I have with the whole. When I come back to the RPG thing, it's like uh, the reason I can speak so much of the Western RPG side and the JRPG side is because I play a metric fuck ton of the Western side, and I have a whole bunch of the Japanese side. So, Of course, I can speak because it's like, oh, have you played any of the Pillar series, any of the Pathfinder series, any of the Wasteland series? Most of the time, it's going to be no. So, it's we can't have the conversation because you don't
Yeah,
play.
yeah. I mean, I agree with you on that 100%, man. It's just really one of those things where it's pretty clear when someone has played a game versus someone who hasn't. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
I don't know why everybody wants to be part of the conversation so badly. I don't really get what the point is of that.
It's, be-
Everyone
it's
I Go ahead.
it's because it's the hot topic game. It's the latest release. Let's say it's a big exclusive from PlayStation, right?
Mhm.
So the PlayStation guys will want to brag off and show off about it, and then the Xbox guys, who clearly haven't played it, want to go in there and talk shit about it, right? So obviously it boils down to the console war thing. That's all I think it is. Because when Xbox releases a good game, put PlayStation fans talk on it, and then when PlayStation releases a game, Xbox guys talk on it, and it's like most of you are haven't even on the other side haven't even played the game that they're talking about. But yeah,
Yeah, that's typically how it does come down to. So, it's just one of those things where I don't know, man. I don't know. It's the Xbox account doesn't do itself any favors by posting stuff like that. And then we have things like on the opposite end where we had the Xbox, what was it, global marketing something or another. Let me
yeah. Xbox
uh
Global Publishing.
yeah, let me find that account because I saw this account. I saw people bothering this chick and I was just like, guys, I get it, but leave that girl alone, you know? Um where the fuck is it? It was sent to me. Hold on, let me pull it up. Do you know what I'm talking about? That chick who works in marketing or whatever?
Uh, I think I saw something of it on Twitter. Um, she works at marketing at Xbox. I can't remember the
Oh
whole
yeah,
thing.
global games marketing at Xbox. That chick.
That's the one.
Her name's
Mhm.
Kelly, right? And God, was
Mhm.
she the one who said that shit? What did she say? I feel like I had talked to her before and talked about her before. She said something I disagreed with, but I can't remember what it was. But it was definitely something. Oh, and then I think we had like
Mm.
a, or maybe that was someone else who works at Xbox, dude. I don't fucking know at this point. But basically, she posted a picture of her PlayStation a couple days ago, or actually yesterday. No, listen. Would I have posted a picture of my PlayStation if I worked at Xbox? I wouldn't have a Twitter account if I worked at Xbox or PlayStation. I'm gonna keep it a stack with you, okay? The gaming community is fucking vicious, all right? Vicious, vicious fucks, you know. And so I would prefer to not be involved in any of that nonsense. You know, she knew what kind of responses she was gonna get by posting this, but at the same time, the post is relatively innocuous, and by relatively, I mean it is innocuous. It's like she posted a picture of her PlayStation with some googly eyes saying, "New friend unlocked. What should I name him?" Right, and then she got a couple of people commenting, and she hit a bunch of replies. Which hiding replies is so pointless because people can still they can click on the button
Mhm.
and look at them.
Yep.
Right. Basically, she got a couple people on her ass about it, and they were like, "Global games at marketing without words," and then this person said, "Definitely a bit sad, but hey, Xbox will soon no longer exist, so I understand that all the employees are switching to PlayStation." Um, let's see here. Someone, let's see here. Someone took a screenshot of her profile that has a Sea of Thieves barrel and then global games at marketing and then some dead emojis because like referencing the point the fact that she has a PlayStation on her account while she works at Xbox, right? Someone else said the best console on the market. You guys killed Xbox and have no shame in expressing it, which, listen, do I disagree with that comment? No. But
You know
I
what the weird thing about that is?
what
You know Shuhei, who's in charge of indies at PlayStation.
yes, Mr. Shu.
He put Yeah, he posted a picture of his Xbox, and
Mhm.
he actively works at PlayStation. Naturally, he got some hate posts, and then when Kojima posted when he was playing on his Xbox, when Kojima made that post, everyone was loads of people are there like, "You're a traitor! How dare you betray PlayStation?" I'm like,
Yeah, people do
You,
tend to treat these brands as if they're, I don't know, there's some emotional attachment there. But yeah, so she got some comments, Sycamore up in the comments saying, "I got a name." What do you say? "I got a name, Xbox killer." I'm just like, "Sick. Come on, man." This other person said, "Even Xbox employees are abandoning this sinking ship of a brand." Frontline Gamer says, "Phil Spencer." Someone else said, "Glad you got the only true Xbox," and then someone else said, "Vagina man." I don't know why she bothered hiding these comments because we can all see the comments, babes. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, they got on her ass about it, and there's some back and forth. I personally, I'm like, just leave her alone. You know what I'm saying? Does marketing suck at Xbox? Yes, it's not even a fucking question, right?
mhm.
Not even a fucking question. But at the same time, it's just kind of like, shit, man. What can you fucking
the
do about
the
this?
crazy thing is, people are allowed to have multiple platforms in the community, but when gamers who work at these companies who actually don't care about the console wars, like Hate probably doesn't hate Xbox. Like this dude's enjoying his best life, and he's got an Xbox, and he posted playing on it, and it's like most of these people probably have each other's consoles. I'm pretty sure if you ask most of them, I'm sure Corey Barlog has an Xbox. Like, but hey, I don't
I
know.
think a lot of it just has to do with the timing. I think, it's people are
Mhm.
very sore, they're still very fresh, the wound that is after seeing, the official announcement that, Pentiment and, um, Hi-Fi Rush, Sea of Thieves, and Grounded are gonna be on PlayStation, and you know what I'm saying? I think people are still they're still a little sick about it. They're still a little upset about it, upsetty spaghetti.
Of course.
Isn't that super goofy, upsetty spaghetti? Okay, anyway, but yeah, they're still pretty upset about it, and so her posting it right after the Xbox account officially was just like, "These games are going to PlayStation." Just bad timing, but at the same time, it's just kinda like, these games are going to the other console anyway, so it she's doing some promoting, you know? She also posted a picture of her Xbox, I mean, as she should, earlier, so I'm just like, "Man, leave that woman alone." She doesn't have the stomach for it, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's not built to, deal with people bothering her, you know? And
Mhm.
I always say, like, I feel, you know, I had a back and forth with her I think I had a back and forth with her about something she said that I just did not agree with because I thought it was like, man, let me see if I can fucking find these tweets. Oh, here, I found it. I did have a conversation with her. Okay. So she's talking about the amount of targeted hate I've gotten from this tweet is wild. This is back May 16th, 2022, right? Okay. So she said some nonsense. Okay. See, and I know you guys, perhaps some of you are like, "Oh, Luca's just trying to defend her because she's a chick." Here's the thing, that's not true, right? She said this nonsense last year or 2 years ago, that is. She's like, "Enough with the console wars and gatekeeping of the gaming community. Do you play games? You're a gamer. Do you watch games? You're a gamer. Do you discuss games? You're a gamer. You are part of the gaming community regardless of platform preference, time played, or skill level." So she got a lot of backlash for this, and rightfully fucking so. It's a stupid comment, in my opinion. It does not make any sense, like by the actual literal definition of what it means to be a gamer. It just is, it's doesn't make any sense. But she said, "The amount of targeted I hate I've gotten from this tweet is wild. People are so offended by me using the term gamer in this broader sense. Some people aren't able to play games, so they watch or read. They are still gamers to me." And I'm just like, respectfully, you are aware that the term targeted hate typically refers to hate crimes, right? So why are you conflating the criticism you've received in response to your post to be on the same level of such? Or is this another case of wrong definition?
Oh
She
yeah, I
probably meant it
remember this.
as target harassment. I was like, "Yeah, she's definitely getting dogpiled. I just wish she would be mindful of her word choices. I ultimately do agree with the underlying message. Inclusion is great and genuine diversity is something to strive for." Bitch, look at me. I am such a, like, wordsmith. Anyway, she said, "I understand what it means, and I know I'm not referring to people disagreeing. I'm referring to people calling me short bus or sending me DMs saying that this is why women don't belong in gaming. People would rather assume I'm dumb than realize they don't have all the facts." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, that's fair. Sorry that's happening. It's definitely an unfortunate reality of what it means to have a presence and a voice in this space." Oh my god, like, I'm amazing. But anyway, basically, I went back and forth with her about this stupid ass post that she made, right? But yeah, so this isn't the first time she's gotten some responses from folks, but I would think after that initial jumping, right, that she would have I don't know, disengaged and realized that this community is just not anything to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I would have done. I would have been like, yeah, please, I don't want to be involved with these people at all.
Mhm.
So should have seen it coming, should have known it was coming. I do definitely feel for her, and I do think people should just leave her alone because again, she doesn't have the it's just this, and it's not a failing on her part. It's not a bash at her or anything like that. It's just like some people just don't wanna deal with the bullshit, and I don't blame her for that, but at the same time, she had to have known that she was gonna get some backlash posting it because she does work at Xbox, and she has experienced this before, so it sucks, but sucks to suck.
Yeah, it does.
Luca came a long way from telling folks to jump off a building, and I still feel that way. Okay. So, I I definitely I'm not gonna lie, I'm definitely, I'm seeing more and more posts lately. My mental state has been, deteriorating in the sense that the way I handle seeing certain things I mean, I scroll past mostly, right? But I see some posts and I'm just like, "KYS, man." I'm at that point, and I've been at that point. You know, it's like it comes and goes in waves. It's ups and downs, right? Where sometimes I'm just like, "This isn't that big of a deal." But then other times I'm like, "No, definitely jump." You know? I wanna tell people to jump, but I keep my mouth shut and I keep it moving because that's insanity on my part, right?
Mhm.
Alright, so, wait, someone thinks that 4 games are the only ones getting ported. No, there's gonna be more. They're not stopping at those 4. Xbox's messaging has been absolutely egregious when it comes to a lot of this stuff, so he's, it's gonna be far more than just that.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be more than 4. It's probably gonna take a while, because they have to see how these 4 do first.
How do you think they're
Um,
gonna do? I think Hi-Fi Rush is gonna do well. I don't know about the rest
I
of them.
think I actually think Sea of Thieves will do well because
Yeah?
they don't like the multiplayer offerings over PlayStation, well, from first party at least, pretty small, slim, and Sea of Thieves has a wide appeal to like more casual people as well. Because you look at the way it is, it's relaxing. You could just sail the seas with your friends, do all that kind of thing. And it's not like when it launched where it had no content. Now it's got a stack load of content. So there's plenty to enjoy. So I can see Sea of Thieves doing well. I can see Grounded doing well as well, to be honest. The only thing I don't see doing well is Pentiment because of the type of game it is. That's a very acquired taste.
Okay. Doesn't it have, like, a really good story or something?
Oh, the story is mastercraft. It's peak Obsidian. It's written by Josh Sawyer, and he is peak Obsidian writing. His writing is on point, and it shows in the game. I mean, oh, it's such a great story.
Okay.
10,
Yeah.
10
Go
out of
ahead.
10. Definitely worth it.
Hmm. Yeah, I had no interest in I don't have any interest in any of these games. I tell you about the time I played Sea of Thieves for 33 minutes, okay? And, I remember specifically I was sitting in a party, I was a dealer. It was dealer and a couple of the other guys, right? And specifically, I remember and knowing it was 33 minutes because Colt came through. He's like, "Let me know when you guys have a spot." I'm like, "Colt, you can take my spot." Take my spot, king. Get me out of this fucking game, like, right now, so, but that was when the game first came out and had, like, nothing to do, so, things are good now, that's great, I'm happy for all of them when it comes to
Oh
that
yeah,
stuff.
it's a massive success. What started off as what could have been called a flop, and you look at it now. Oh, it's a huge success for Ray. It's their most successful game ever. Like they're
Nice.
balling. Hmm.
Alright, so other than that, we have the Helldivers. Divers 2 had some fucking server issues, okay? They had some pretty massive server issues that have kept, people from actually being able to play the game. The head of Helldivers 2, I think it was the CEO, he came out and was just like, "Hey, if you only have the money for, like, 1 game, just wait on buying this game because, like, people can't get in. You know, people are having a hard time getting in because of the success. And, you know, there are some folks who, again, rightfully upset. I definitely understand, but you also have to know the context of this, right? The context being they did not expect to have as many people playing the game that are playing the game just based on how the first game did. You know what I'm saying? They had a very specific and a very set number, I'm assuming, when they made were making Helldivers 2 because no one was really like hyping this game up. No one was like, "Oh, I can't wait for Helldivers 2 to come out." Like that no one could have anticipated this. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mhm.
they were dealing with a lot of backlash because, there were 450,000 players on Steam, and then there was a lot of people getting stuck on that, server at capacity screen, and it's like, I wanted to jump into Helldivers too, but I was like, "I'm not sitting at my screen waiting for this joint to come up," you know? It's just not happening.
Exactly.
I've played enough Destiny 2 whenever new content would
Oh,
come out.
if you know about Destiny 2 and the day a new DLC drops, oh, you know about queues.
Y
Also, Final
yeah.
Fantasy 14 when
Mhm.
Endwalker came out and they had to stop selling the game. We were 8-hour queues. Like I was, it's like you know what? I'm gonna put this on and go. By the time I come back, I'm still in the queue.
Yeah, it's just
Ugh.
it's absolutely egregious. I completely understand why people would be upset about it, and that's what's kept me from buying the game, honestly speaking. I was just like, I'm just not sitting in a queue. It's just not happening, dude. I'm not doing it. I'm not fucking doing it, okay? Like, I'm done. I'm done with that shit. I'm not doing it again. So, you know, I've held off on it, but Slow-Mo plays it, Nautical plays it, a couple of my other friends, I saw Persona was playing it as well. Like, you know, they're all up, you know, they're diving, bro. They're diving. They're having themselves a fucking ball when they can actually get into the game. So, I see that it seems fun. I'll give it a shot eventually, I guess. Especially because the latest patch says that they updated the server cap to 700,000, but warned, unfortunately, we expect the CCU to reach that level. Wait times will be much more bearable, though. And they're talking about how they appreciate the support and everything like that. So I think it's great. And I know the game is doing very well on PlayStation too. So I think that I do think, you know, but I do wanna talk about though is the, review score. I think it's at like an 80 something, right?
Yeah.
And someone posed the question, they were just like, "What other game can have these kinds of issues where people aren't able to get in and still have such a high score?" Right? And I was just like, "I hear what you're saying, but I've heard that folks are already, starting to put in some negative reviews on Steam based on, like, the queue times and everything like that, and not
Mhm.
being able to get in, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, I definitely hear what you're saying there. It's
That's the thing. Like, for this is the great thing about the Steam community. If there's issues with your game, the reviews on Steam will reflect that. If you got a mixed, let's say you got a mixed, you look at the game with the side eye, and then you read the reviews. But if it has like very positive, you're like, okay, yeah, this game very positive, easy buy. But if it's mixed or below, you have to look at it, read through those reviews before you buy, because so that's why it'd be interesting to see what Helldivers on Steam is.
mhm,
Actually, let me check that. What is it? I'm curious.
the numbers down?
No, what the review is for Helldivers.
Oh, it's,
What's it
I
start at?
think it's mostly positive.
Okay, not as bad. Not too bad. Not too bad. I mean that's good enough to buy, but you're better off waiting. So a lot of people will probably wait for a sale or something.
Yeah, Dark Times says, it's a 7 on Steam, 74. It had a 68 at some point in time. It's because of those fucking server issues, dude, I'm telling you. Shout out to, MJ with Super Chat saying, "Shout out to my girl Luca getting her, Elden Ring DLC announced." Yes, yes, and shout out to you for you know what. Thank you, sir. Um, yeah. So Shadow of the Erdtree, if you want to talk about that real quick. Shadow of the Erdtree for Elden Ring. We've been waiting 2 years for this fucking DLC to come out, and it's bound to be a thick and girthy DLC, and one that I
Mhm.
am very much looking forward to. I am a big fan of Elden Ring. I beat it twice, I think, twice. Um, and then one time I'm at the end boss for Xbox, right? So
Yeah.
I'm a big fan, big fan of the game. I really enjoyed the build diversity. There was a lot of fun there, and the ability to switch your builds up was so easy in that game, and it was understandable why it was so easy given the massive scale of it. The massive scale of it made it so going through it the second time was kind of boring, despite switching up my build a couple times, but um, like boring in the sense that it's just like, because you're fighting many of these bosses over and over and over again, it doesn't have the same, like, um it doesn't bring me the same excitability, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not as,
Mhm.
like, "Oh, man, I can't wait to get to this boss, and so I can hear their music and fight them." It's like, "Oh, I saw this boss multiple times." But ultimately, Elden Ring, AKA Elden King, is a goated From Software game, and it received tons of praise, and the praise was deserved. So we were all waiting for the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC trailer to drop, and that DLC will be coming out a week before I go to California. So I will spend that weekend playing that shit, and every day I come home playing that shit before I have to go off to Cali. So I'm very much looking forward to that, and I think that it's definitely following the trend and the path to being possibly another DLC on the scale of, um, the Old Hunters DLC, which I think did a fantastic job adding to the lore for Bloodborne and really really adding padding to, well, giving like a I suppose you could say recontextualizing a lot of things that were already established in the lore. So, recontextualizing it, adding significance to it, adding scope to it. So, I'm very much looking forward to that. And it's bigger than the Ring City, which the Ring City, I thought that was a fairly sizable DLC, and, hopefully it is better than Ashes of Ariandel, 'cause I still, to this day, don't like that DLC all that much. Had some great lore implications and great weapons and spells, but ultimately, kind of a bust for me. Ring City was definitely better in my opinion, and I think that especially since the DLC will be following Miquella, that is, I'm very much looking forward to seeing where the end game is for that, especially since there's some, at least, visual indicators that give reference to Griffith and, the Egg of the King, which I love the Berserk references in the From Software style games. I think it's absolutely, like, fantastic. So, in reference to that, I'm very curious to see how Miquella is going to evolve, if there's gonna be, like, a, Griffith-like evolution there, like there was, in Berserk. So, I I'm definitely gonna be checking out some of the lore videos as we get closer to the release of that DLC, and I think it's gonna be something I definitely think it's gonna be something that's going to change the game in terms of what it means to release a DLC, especially since they're doing stuff like, they're doing a collector's edition for the DLC, which I'm just like, a collector's edition for fucking DLC isn't crazy to y'all? I know that, some other games have done it, but it's not something that you typically see. Some folks have pointed out, they said, it's going to be longer than some games and probably going to have more depth in comparison to some other games, and that's why they feel compelled to have this collector's edition. I mean, it all comes down to needing and not needing, but wanting more money. That's what, they're in the business of making money despite the fact that their games are just like fantastic in general. That's the ultimate end goal when creating a product, regardless of how much of your vision and art goes into it, right? But, I was just like, "Man, that's not crazy, y'all." But it is a very cool statue, and it is to I think it's to match the what's her name, Melania statue that was for the original Elden Ring. So I'm very curious to see who picks that up. And you played Elden Ring, right?
Yeah, I have,
Did you
and
ever beat it? Or?
yeah. Because I was tuning in for the trailer. I watched the trailer, and it was a fantastic trailer. But it
Mhm.
was, and I'm gonna get it, of course. But here's the but: because there's just so many games that I'm currently am playing or got queued up to play. When it comes out, I'll still be playing those games. So I'm gonna have to get. I'll probably have to wait. Probably a sale when of the sale comes around because there's just so much. It's like the Cyberpunk DLC. Like when that first came out, I absolutely love Cyberpunk, and I was like, "Yo, I want this DLC." Couldn't get it because I was too busy playing other games. And I can't stop the game and then go play the DLC. So it's the same issue that I got. Same thing with Tales of Arise. I eventually got around to the DLC, but it's one of those
Yeah.
things. But the DLC looks amazing. From Software is knocking it out of the park. Um, they're on. Miyazaki is on fire right now. All guys
Miyazaki-san
over
is
there.
just awesome. They even he fucking mentioned the Bloodborne remake and how he's heard the cries, the
Yeah,
pleas,
that was
the
hilarious. What?
blood sacrifices that folks have been committing in order to get that fucking Bloodborne
The
remake
thing
that
is,
I need. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think there's two options with the Bloodborne. I think because From Software they clearly know people want Bloodborne, but it was in conjunction with Japan Studio, which no longer exists.
Mhm.
Um, so I do From Software own Bloodborne IP or does Sony own Bloodborne IP?
I think Sony does.
I heard Sony owns that.
Well, then From Software probably wants to make it. Sony probably doesn't want to make it.
It's like
I'm
free
guessing.
money though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
I
it's
don't
not.
understand why they wouldn't just do even a remaster. Will probably sell a lot of copies. I don't understand why Sony wouldn't want to do it. This seems pretty like a slam dunk layup
the,
kind of
the, on-
thing.
the only other thing I could think of is Blue Point is working on redoing it like the way they did Demon Souls.
Demon Souls remake is also excellent. Yes.
So if they're working on Bloodborne, it's a possibility because they're already used to From Software's engine.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So and their code and whatnot, so they can easily get it out quicker than they did Bloodborne. That is a possibility. That's why we ain't hearing nothing from Blue Point. They're too busy on that.
I
Um,
wouldn't mind that at all, considering how visually Demon Souls looked, and
mhm.
considering how From Software seems to not get it right on the visual side of things, for the most part. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all. That Blue
From
Point did it.
Software's visuals are fantastic. It's the graphics that are a little bit stupid. It's a
Their
little
art direction,
sketchy.
their art
Art
direction
direction
is
is
very,
excellent.
very unique and very good. Their actual technical abilities to make visuals sucks. It's
Yes,
mediocre to say.
yes. Textures are a little
That's the
spooky.
best I could say for it.
Textures are definitely very, very spooky. I'm not gonna lie, but art direction is
They
fucking
also suck at
fantastic.
optimizing games for PC as well. But
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because there was issues when Elden Ring launched.
still
Um,
issues with it.
oh, this still is.
Hmm.
Okay.
I saw people
So the
complaining about it today. People had reinstalled it due to increased interest from the trailer about the DLC. They reinstalled the game and they're like, "What? Why am I still having issues where certain things like stuttering and frame timing issues?" And this is not people who have used mods or anything. This completely
yeah.
unmodded is just
Mod it. I was gonna say immediately go to the mods page and download the fixes because the modders got on that real quick. So like I was planning on reinstalling it, and then I was like, right, I'll have to head on over to Nexus and go get my mods because I had to do that with Cyberpunk as well. I got one or two mods off there to help with like hitches and stuff. So
I have never installed a single mod for Cyberpunk so far. I might
You
do
should.
that.
There's some
I
really
might
good
do
ones.
that. I'm gonna record myself doing all the endings, so I might do a few mods to kind of, I don't know, spice
yeah,
things up a little bit.
there's also some great quality of life mods. They're always worth a shot. So
Cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for this DLC. I really got deep into like the lore videos. Shout out to all the YouTubers who just like scoured over every bit of miscellaneous text and read through and analyzed all the descriptions on the weapons, the armor, the just everything, because they pretty much decoded what this DLC was going to be like or be about like a year ago, and spent all that time really fleshing out who Mikola was and what kind of demigod Mikola was. And I really just got like really excited into that because like all the other demigods kind of suck. I mean, as people, like, you know, they're really kind of dickheads. Like
That's like
they
a continuing trend in From Software games. Like they're not good people, you know.
right, but Mikola was like the exception. Like Mikola knew that I forgot what it's called. It's not the Golden Order, but whatever the Erdtree created the Erdtree and was controlling Queen America was not really a good thing. And he was trying to break the cycle when he created his own tree, but it just got all messed up as things tend to go. And I really think like they could turn that into like a TV series. Just the lore with the war with the demigods and how Mikola got kidnapped by his half brother and then put in that egg and mutilated or whatever the heck he is now. But I'm interested in seeing how it turns out, like how who he is now, and if he is the same person he was before. Probably not, considering it seems like we're fighting him. So I'm kind of excited for that part, and of course the weapons, because oh man, some of the stuff they showed, I was like, yeah, I know what y'all doing with this. Like they really got me excited, so I can't wait to play it.
And they also brought the unarmed combat. That looks sick. When the guy was
Yeah.
flying kicking.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely trying that. That looked amazing.
Yo, that just sick. That was crazy. It was a fantastic trailer. Well done to them. They showed up and they showed out, and everyone was loving it in the chat. It was like the most peaceful I've seen a live stream chat. Like everyone was like, no, I say this because a lot of the time they're like, oh, is it this? Is it that? Oh, this is trash. This is good. This is trash. No, everyone was like, yo, this is great. This is great. Round of applause. People still sat in the chat on YouTube. Even after the trailer finished, they were just sat there for like a good 30 minutes just talking about the trailer. And I'm like, yo, From Software really hit the mainstream audience with Elden Ring. So, hey, shout out to From Software.
Yep.
All right.
Do you guys think? I don't know if you guys said this before I came in, but do you guys think this would be the only DLC they do for Elden Ring?
Yes.
Probably. Yeah.
Okay, I think so too, considering how long they took to make this one.
They're
Like 2
probably
years.
They're probably already making the next game. They're probably deep into it.
I do think they'll do an Elden Ring too. I think they'll do a sequel.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Yeah, this
this
world is just too engaging, and there's so many different places they could go with things. I think they have to do a sequel.
I think they'll do a trilogy.
It would go crazy if they did a sequel.
Because they did
Yeah.
Dark Souls 1, 2, and then 3. So they could easily go Elden Ring 1, 2, 3. And
I mean, that wasn't the plan though, to do a 2 and 3 for Dark Souls. So, but it was like a popularity thing. So
Mhm.
they could do a trilogy, but I don't think it's necessary. I don't even think a sequel is necessary, to be honest. But that's just my opinion. Whatever they want to work on, I'm good with. You know what I'm saying? Because they know what they're doing when it comes to making these games. So far, they are the only developer as it stands right now that I still have faith in comparison to all the other ones I used to love that are now in the mud. BioWare, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like,
I think it's FromSoft, Rockstar. Rockstar, you can guarantee will give you a quality product. That's not a remaster, of course, right? Because what they did with the GTA remasters was clearly a cash grab. But for their like new releases, they're S tier. You know, they're definitely going to deliver on an experience that no one else can really do. But outside of those two studios, I really can't name anyone else that's just like guaranteed. It's a can't miss.
For me, that's Obsidian. For me, because Obsidian hasn't missed since Knights of the Old Republic 2. As far as
That
I'm
wasn't
concerned.
a miss. That wasn't a miss.
No, they haven't missed. That's what I meant. They haven't.
Oh, okay.
Like Knights of the Old Republic 2, and then you had like Fallout New Vegas, banger. Knights of the Old Republic 2,
See you later,
banger.
Mason.
South Park, Stick of Truth, banger. Pillars of Eternity, absolute
Stick
banger.
of Truth is very good.
Pentiment, banger. Outer Worlds, banger. Like, Obsidian is just Obsidian. And so that's why they always have, you know, I can always trust them to. I know Avowed is going to be a fantastic game, despite how it looks. Full
I
trust.
think about it. I might have to agree with you about Obsidian. I'm about to look at their catalog to see if there is anything that I can think of that was like not good.
I think there was one game back in like the 360.
They did
I can't
Never Went
remember
to
what the name
Nights
is.
2. That was good.
Yep.
Alpha Protocol. Alpha Protocol wasn't. I never played that, but I've heard people say that wasn't great, and
that was the game.
I never played Dungeon Siege 3 either, so I can't speak on those.
Good game.
Okay. I heard Tyranny was good, and the Pillars of Eternity games are good. Yeah, I mean they are pretty on the money with things.
And the best part is they were always independent until now. They rode the tree.
Well, you know, they're still multi-plat. They're still multi-platform.
Ain't that the truth? Hey, at least I don't have to worry about...
2 is going to be on everything.
The thing is, at least I don't have to worry about them shutting down the studio because they couldn't get funding for a game now. I don't have to be scared because, like, they kickstart the Pillars of Eternity stuff. They kickstarted a few of the other games. Like, they got hired out to do Fallout and then got hired out to do, like, South Park and that. So we don't have to worry about them shutting down.
South Park Stick of Truth is very, very good. That's a good game.
Oh, it is. Obsidian.
Shadow Reaver says people laugh at Pentiment. People laugh at Pentiment's art style. The people who laugh at Pentiment never played it. I have yet to see a single person who's played Pentiment think the game's a joke. Like, people who play it, they within the first act or chapter, or however you want to call that first section, they definitely take the game seriously at that point.
Oh yeah, see, and that comes down to who was. That's why I was always excited, because it's Josh Sawyer, and he's been at Obsidian for years, and he's the main writer, and his writing ability is just crazy. When he writes a story, it's off the chain, and he's not the only one. They got other talented writers. It's like the chick who did the writing for the Outer Worlds, because it wasn't Josh. She's really good too. So
yeah, the Outer Worlds is very good.
It really is nice to have like good writers, especially when we are awash in a sea of mediocrity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, there are some fucking bad writers out there, and yet they continue to get gigs, and it's disgusting. Honestly, it's fucking Hollywood though.
And then they keep going to, what's that company group's name? Sweet Frog, or that's ice cream. Sweet Money, whatever that Sweet something.
Yeah,
the people that keep ruining Western games. That's it, Sweet Baby. Yeah, they keep ruining Western games with their like penchant on trying to make every woman look like a ugly a ugly soccer mom for some reason. I don't know why.
You gotta check boxes, man. You have to check boxes.
Yeah, for them, yeah, it's like you in order to get your game out, you got to check every single box that makes the game as unappealing as possible. It seems like, but yeah.
You know what's crazy? When I was a couple years ago, maybe like 5 years ago, or longer. God, I'm getting up there, right? I remember thinking about like writing a book and stuff, right? And then as I was like, continuing to flesh out my world and thinking on it and stuff, I started being hit by that anxiety of, do I have enough diversity in my fucking book? Am I gonna get
Yeah.
jumped if I don't
Right.
have
Mhm.
every single like thing under the sun? Like that was actually a little bit of a thought that I had like years prior because there was a lot of people were getting a lot of backlash when it came to that kind of stuff. And then I was like, what if they think this character is like a token, but the character like so one of the characters is based like off my sister and my sister's mixed, right? And so then I
Mhm.
was like concerned about that. I was just like, man. So there's a lot of that going on. But yeah, it's Sweet Baby Inc. They are they worked closely with Spider-Man Insomniac Spider-Man 2's writing team. I think you can
Shocker.
Yeah.
tell by some of the aspects of that story. Some things were just a little much, So, like that kind of thing. So it is. Why did you bring them up?
It's because
Because
we were
they're
talking about
ruining
bad
writing.
writers. Yeah,
Ruining
Yeah.
writing. Oh
yeah.
yeah, I agree with that. I do agree with
But
that. Some yeah.
that's why I appreciate great writers because Josh has been there for since Obsidian was founded, I do believe, and the chick joined, and obviously had balling writing, and it's like if they wrote a book, I'd buy it because their writing is just so good. They don't even need a game; they could just write a book, but they choose to write stories for the games. But they also address that. How do you get the balance of perspectives in their games? Like Avowed will probably have it, but they do the writing so well. Like the token black guy is what people would say. Doesn't feel like it. It just feels like another character in the world. So, and they're generally good with their diversity as well in races and people and stuff like that. So,
Yeah,
I just think
See,
diversity
it's
is
the way
always
you write
better
it.
when it's fucking organic and doesn't sound
Hmm.
super cringy. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying?
right.
So
And it's properly researched, and the characters actually make sense for the people who are from that background or culture. And it's not clearly something that someone who has no idea or has never met anyone who looks or acts or from that background wrote them. I think Luca, when it comes to, I mean, I don't know if you're still writing the story that you were trying to write, but you're going to be damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you write for diversity, you're going to get the people saying it's woke diversity garbage. And then if you don't write for that, and if you don't hit every single demographic, you're going to get the people who are missing complaining that you're something phobic because you
yeah, that's
didn't
true.
have representatives. So it's like you just gotta write the story that you want to write and just leave it at that. And if that misses some people, then it misses some people. If it hits some people, then you represented those people and hopefully you did them well. But if you try to please everyone, you're gonna end up pleasing no one.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like again, yeah, that was my mentality a couple years ago. Now I'm just like, yeah, I don't care. I'm gonna write what I want, right? But
Hmm.
it's stuff like I'll give you an example. So people, despite the fact that Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera are Latina, right? And they were cast as sisters in the Scream 5 and 6 movie. People don't think Sam and Tara are Latina, right? And I'm just kind of like, because so these people said because they didn't reference it directly, Sam and Tara, we don't know if they're Latina or not, right? Like because they never say anything about being Latina, right? And so I gave them a counterpoint, and I was just like, so Chad and Mindy aren't black then, right? Even though they're very clearly black, like they're biracial,
Yeah.
they're white and black, right? No one even thought to have that conversation with Chad and Mindy because they're very visibly black. And I look at Melissa and I look at Jenna, and they're very visibly Latina, right? Like it's not even a question. But it's like if you don't hammer it home and make it clear or just verbally say it, then people start getting their fucking panties in a knot trying to. I mean, Sam's character is also biracial. She's white and Latina, right? And then I'm pretty sure that Jenna's character is also biracial because their last name is fucking Carpenter.
Mm-hmm.
If that is one of the whitest last names I've ever heard in my life, right? So anyway, I'm just saying, I think all the main characters in Scream, the Scream
They never
5 and 6 are
show their
biracial.
mom
So.
in any of the Scream movies, right? The
No.
mom that was the side chick for Billy
Billy, yeah.
Loomis. Yeah. So yeah, like I mean, it is what it is. She's probably Hispanic. So
Yeah, she's gotta be Hispanic because, it's not gonna it's clearly she's fucking clearly Sam, since she's Billy's daughter, is part white, you know what I'm saying? So
right. But yeah, when it comes to Obsidian, I said this when Knights of the Old Republic was having their remake and Aspire was going to do it, and I was not a fan of that decision because Aspire had never done anything on this scale before. They've done a bunch of porting of the Knights of the Old Republic games to mobile, but they hadn't done an actual like remake of this caliber, and they clearly just proved that they were up to snuff for that. And at this point, that there's so few studios that I think could really do it justice, or at least I trust to do it justice. But Obsidian is definitely one of them. But considering, you know what, I have to go back on this because before, maybe a year ago, I thought the only way that Obsidian could be on this project to actually do the remake justice is if Sony backs out and then Microsoft takes up, the IP with what you call them, Lucasfilm Games. But
well, that would
considering,
mean Microsoft doing something that makes sense, and that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
right, yeah, but considering how things are, they may just collaborate with Sony and get it done and have Obsidian do it. Although I think Obsidian right now is a bit too stretched thin for projects to take on another one.
Well, yeah,
But
they're working on, obviously they're about to release Avowed, and then they're gonna go full hands on with Edgeworlds 2. But then
there's the
again,
rumors they might be doing a Fallout New Vegas
yep,
sequel or a remake of it or something. I don't
but
know. Something with Fallout New Vegas.
they are very efficient though. So because like in between the Outer Worlds and Avowed, they managed to put out Pentiment and they managed to put out Grounded. Between those two big games, so they can silo off teams to work on stuff like if they just need
Yeah,
to.
but I don't want teams that small working on Knights of the Old Republic remake. Like the Grounded team was literally less than 15 people.
Yeah, I mean,
so was the Pentiment team.
They could silo off some people, I think, to it, because when Avowed is done, they could silo people off onto it if they're not making Fallout. If they're making Fallout New Vegas, you need to make that regardless. Like, I would prefer that over KOTOR. But the thing is, if Sony still has the idea of the working relationship, I'm incredibly worried because they're outside of Bluepoint. I wouldn't trust anyone else over there with that game.
I agree. All
There,
right.
there's no one. There's no one over there who can, because they're gonna change some things. Like people were bringing up, well, why don't Naughty Dog? No. Keep Neil away from that game. No, we don't need Naughty Dog on it because no.
It will come out in
don't.
2035 if Naughty Dog was doing it.
Exactly.
They would take it will look amazing, but we would definitely be drawing Social Security when that happens. So
yeah. Speak for yourself. That'd be you,
buddy.
Yeah. Oh no, you will too. Okay, I'm telling you, Naughty Dog's gonna take that long. But no, anyway.
All right. So let's see here. Okay, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth reviews are very positive. The game is currently sitting at a 92 on Metacritic with I think 100 reviews at this point. They are very, very positive. Please do not go look up any reviews. I hear they're spoiling.
Yeah.
I warned Slow-Mo so he would know and everything. So, and I think I saw a spoiler as I was scrolling through the news feeds, but I was like, I don't know what this fucking means, so I kept scrolling. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, Slow-Mo, you are the Final Fantasy fan. Go ahead. You want to go ahead and talk about it?
I'm hyped for it. I'm still playing through streaming myself playing through Remake, which I played like 5 times. Final Fantasy 7, the original, came out over, Jesus, that was 97. So we're looking like 27 years ago. It is one of the best Final Fantasies, and it has probably the most iconic characters in the IP, and it's going to be amazing. I already know it is. It's kind of just I mean, I have got like surface level impressions from people who've done reviews of it and had review copies, but I haven't looked at their reviews because, as you said, trying to avoid spoilers. But it's the improvements. I played through the demo and I've done both parts of the demo, and yeah, the improvements to the combat, it's it's great. I have still messing around with the second demo because Chadley, a character in the game where you can kind of like he sells materia to you, but then he also gives you like this VR headset where you can kind of go into a VR environment and do like fight other summons, tutorial kind of stuff. And I was just going in there just messing around with all the different characters. They allow you to just, play where you can just do that as much as possible. So I'm really enjoying that aspect of it. And I think it's going to be probably a game of the year nominee.
Oh, it's not even a question.
Oh yeah, it's
Loki.
definitely. Because
I
it
do
looks.
think that. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say. I mean, everyone knows my feelings on Remake. And I'm going to finish it, and just because I've gotten to the up to the point now, I may as well just knock it off the list. Clear out to the backlog. Doesn't mean I'm going to enjoy it, but it might change by the time. I mean, and also the mods are peak. That's why I can't wait for Rebirth to come to PC because I know those mods are going to go hard. So
That swimsuit that Tifa's in, that's all over the timeline all this week. Yeah,
Oh, man.
on PC, that's going to be her permanent outfit. Guarantee that.
Yep.
Like, people going to have a mod for that. Like,
I'm gonna mod to have
the
her
game
makeup,
comes
bro.
out. Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
cool.
there's gonna be mods for that too. You just gotta
Peak
kind of
mods. But it's like
those.
who doesn't want Barrett as Master Chief? Like, come on, that's just hilarious.
Yeah, I did that for the majority of my stream. It's funny
Yeah,
when
like-
Barrett isn't saying his lines. It's the Master Chief saying it. It's kind of funny.
And
Yeah.
the model is really, really good as well. Like it fits. Like the size isn't wrong. It looks like Master Chief is in the game. So they did a really good job. There's some other crazy mods as well, but that's why I can't wait because I'm gonna play through the entire game with the swimsuit. That's gonna happen. Like that's non-negotiable. And I'm glad they updated the combat because Final Fantasy VII Remake combat was a bit one really vibing with it, but from what you said, Slomo, and from what other people have said, the combat looks like it's improved. So maybe I'll actually vibe with it.
So I mean, I love the combat in Remake, but they just took what was already there and made kind of like common sense improvements. For example, there was this materia called the Deadly Dodge materia. And what it was is if you did a dodge roll, you could hit the attack button and do a special attack, kind of like very smoothly out of the dodge roll. And that wasn't something that like Barrett didn't have. That it didn't really work well with Barrett, but with Cloud, it's amazing. Well, now what they did was with Rebirth, you have that ability without needing materia to do it. So you can just dodge into a group of enemies and do that. Like it's pretty much like an AOE attack for Cloud, or with Tifa's attack is like really amazing. And it's just like that was kind of like a common sense kind of thing that I was like, oh yeah, that just makes sense. In Intermission, which focuses on Yuffie, they introduced the synergy attacks where if you have more than one character and they are in close proximity to each other, you could do attacks where they're attacking the enemy together in tandem, and then also do like combination attacks, almost kind of like Chrono Trigger from back in the day. And they've expanded. I knew they were going to do this when I saw it when I played through Intermission, but I didn't just like the way they implemented it. It's just so good in Rebirth. Like everyone has some kind of combination attack with one another, whether it's Red 13 and Tifa, or Cloud and Barrett, Yuffie and Aerith, whoever, and it all looks amazing. The only issue I have right now is that visually on the PS5 using Unreal Engine 4, it is not. It has its moments, like the character models look amazing, but there are parts where they now that it's only on PS5, they got a bit more overhead on what they can do. So they pack so much detail in the environments, which way more than what they did in Remake, but there's this blurriness that's to it. And it's not. I can imagine people playing the game on a 4K OLED just being awed by some of the visuals and then ooh, with certain things they see look kind of blurry, don't look that great. On PC, that's not going to be a problem. That'll be cleared up, if not by them, but by people who mod the game. But I'm concerned because one of the directors, I can't remember which one it was, but he said that the last part of the trilogy is at the same stage of development as Rebirth was when Remake came out. And so we're looking at roughly like 3 to 4 years before that next game comes out. And if that is the case, that means they're likely not upgrading to Unreal Engine 5, which one of them even said they called Unreal Engine 5 an incomplete game engine, which I'm pretty sure Epic love that. But if they are on that same pace and they stuck with Unreal Engine 4 for Rebirth, more than likely they're going to stick with Unreal Engine 4 for the last part. And I can't imagine it being 2027 and I'm playing an Unreal Engine 4 game. Because already now Unreal Engine 4 is dated in not being able to do certain things. Like ray tracing is impossible with Unreal Engine 4. It's just not there. The proprietary features of Unreal Engine 5, the Lumen and Nanite, is not there either. There's a lot of things that we see and kind of take for granted in games that come out in 2024 and 2023 that are not present in the game engine. Those tools aren't present in Unreal Engine 4. So imagine if we're getting further and further into this game generation and we're being more accustomed to the way games are looking visually. And then this last one comes out and it's on Unreal Engine 4. It's just going to look dated. So I kind of hope that they just push it to Unreal Engine 5.
You know what's
if
funny
that
about
means
that?
it takes a little bit longer, then do that.
The thing is, they should swap over to it. I just don't think they're good at using Unreal. They're not one of the best studios. Like, for example, Mortals of Avium was a bad idea. Ninja Theory's Hellblade 2 is on Unreal Engine 5. We also know like Clockwork Revolution's on that. But we also know the Coalition are helping them with the engine. So I would imagine, since you have someone who's so proficient with the engine, like the Coalition, who absolutely are wizards with Unreal Engine, like they would have a better shot with Unreal Engine 5. That's why I don't get why they haven't made the upgrade. Because it's already been, how many years was it between 7 and Rebirth? Can you remember?
Remake
and
came out in
Rebirth.
2020 and Rebirth is coming out this year. So it's about 4 years because Remake came out early in the year in 2020 as well. So it's about 4 years. And but the thing, they call Unreal Engine 5 an incomplete game engine. And frankly, can we really say it's not? I mean, most developers struggle with it.
Well, to be fair, we haven't had that many games on it. and the ones we've had on it aren't exactly
that's
the best developers.
wait, that's also a problem because Epic said when they introduced the game engine, they said, "Oh, it's going to be so easy to transition your games from 4 to 5." Not true. According to so many developers that have been trying to do that, it's not that easy. And then the only really for them because they said they had to delay Unreal Engine 5's debut in Fortnite a full year. So even they couldn't get their engine going in the time frame that they said they would. It's got a lot of advanced, innovative features, but they don't work the way that Epic said they were supposed to work. And then you see games like Ascendant, I think that's the name of the studio, Ascendant Games that made Immortals of Avium, put every single available feature that Unreal Engine 5 had at that time in the game. And visually, it did not, I mean, like, sure, art direction things, maybe they didn't have their best artists, but the game ran horribly and it just didn't look that great. It's just not where it's supposed to be.
Obviously, because it's recently released, there's teething issues. But I would say let's see how Hellblade 2 comes out, right? Because if Hellblade 2 comes out and it works really, really well, it runs really, really well. We know it looks really, really good.
It's gonna be 30 frames per second on console.
We know it's going to be 30 on console. But unfortunately, a lot of games are coming out at 30 on console right now. So it is what it is. But if it works and it actually runs well, then there must be something to who is using Unreal Engine and what you're using in the engine. Because Hellblade 2 looks really, really good. So if it runs really, really well, then clearly it's a developer issue.
I can't say that. If one developer or only a few developers can make it like run really well, and then with an engine that's designed to be used by the entire industry, that's on Epic for not making it more user friendly.
That is on Epic, but we still need to give them time. Like people who are rushing out their games in Unreal Engine 5 are going to have a bad time, I'm assuming. But hey, well, we'll see how it goes, right?
Yeah.
Although they should make part 3 on Unreal Engine 5. You have no excuse. It's going to take another 4 years, 5 years to come out. Come on now.
Yeah, they should put it on 5. If it ends up taking a little bit longer, I'm fine with that as long as the end result is the game looks amazing, and I'm not like kind of like trying to ignore a blurry like rock wall or issues like that door in Remake where the door looked like it was something from the PS2 era. It was just like, huh? And they're still doing that whole let me slide through this narrow passage as they're loading in the next. I'm like, why are you still doing this? Like, you don't need to do this on the PS5. Come on now. Like, it's really, I know. I mean, like, but I don't want to nitpick on that too hard. Like, I think it's gonna be a great game. I'm looking forward to it. But
I think it will.
Yeah.
I also think. See, what they could do is go into Unreal Engine and you could release another DLC like Integrate for Rebirth. And you could do another one like that, and then that tides people over until you release it. Or maybe actually Square Enix stop being a trash developer and get your ass in gear and get some of those teams making those trash projects that you're not going to release and put them over onto hurrying out the game on Unreal Engine 5. Just an idea. Stop making that NFT game that you... Are they still trying to make that NFT game? They haven't spoken about it, have they, for a while?
I don't think so. I think that died with the last CEO's tenure as CEO. So I think the NFT stuff is over with. At least I hope it is.
All right.
Amen.
Sweet. I mean, Slomo, do you have any thoughts for the people who played the first part of Final Fantasy after playing Rebirth? No.
Oh yeah. So oh, shout out to the frauds. So like I'm not gonna say no names. Y'all probably already know who I'm talking about anyway. So what, right? But it is. I don't understand how someone can say I played Rebirth and didn't play Remake. Well, I mean, you could do that, right? But do you even understand what's happening or what's going on? Because if you try to come out your mouth and say, well, it's just a remake of Final Fantasy VII, wrong. No, it's not. It's not a remake. It's not a straight up remake of an old game. It's actually a different story. It veers off like severely near the end of the game. And you see the changes and the from the very start, you see the slight changes in how the story is starting to fray, and you even and it's like it's so well done that this is more of like a reimagining, almost as if like it's like Final Fantasy mixed with like Back to the Future kind of deal with what's really going on. The fact that like when you get into Rebirth, yeah, they're going to some of the same places for Final Fantasy VII, but what's happening, the stuff that's going on, and where it's going to go is going to be in a completely different realm. In addition to characters that were shown in the ending of Remake that are not supposed to be alive anymore, like anyone who is out here saying, I played Rebirth, I've never played Remake, but Rebirth is amazing. I really enjoyed the story. Just shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't understand anything. You can't understand anything. And if you got a review copy, you got nobody out there explaining to you the references of what you're looking at in comparison to what came out in the original game and the remake. You're just capping. You're just capping and doing your little content engagement bullshit that you do for anything that you get for free. So just like, I mean, you're fraudulent. Everyone understands and knows you're fraudulent, and it's pretty obvious. So just do better, I guess. Just do better.
And you start a game in the middle of because they're interconnected and obviously they're diverted away. And obviously you can't say, well, I played the original. I played the original, but they're diverting. They changed up the story from the original, right? They've changed up some things.
Yeah.
Some things are still the same. Some things are different. So you can't even go, well, I played the original. No, because they've changed some things. So it's not exactly like the original.
Yeah.
So you can't rely on that.
Singer, imagine saying I've never been a Final Fantasy. I've never been a Final Fantasy fan, so I didn't play the original. I didn't play Remake, but I played Rebirth, and it's amazing.
How? It's like me. It's like me going into. It's like me going into the middle of what's a good, like, I don't know, playing. Well, what's a good trilogy where if you can't start at the end? Mass Effect is one of them, I think. Like play in Mass Effect 3, you're like, oh, yeah, but you don't know half the shit that happened before in Mass Effect 1 and 2 to get to this point, did you?
Right. You've got no concept of all these characters who used to be a part of your party, but not in your party anymore, and they're talking to you as if you know things about stuff that's already happened that you don't know, and even with Mass Effect, it's using decisions that you made to influence and play out the things that are happening going forward. It's just like,
I mean, the best part about Mass Effect 3 was seeing your companions from Mass Effect 2, man. And then if you don't have that context there, it doesn't hit the same way.
It really, and also you know Shepard died, like straight up died. You wouldn't know this, like, hey.
Man, I just tell you, it's shout out to the engagement merchants, man. They're putting that work in.
For Trails, like when I played Trails of Cold Steel, I was like, before I started, I was recommended play Trails in the Sky because characters and events will happen. They're referenced. So I went back, got myself engaged, learned, and then it made Cold Steel even better because I understood the references, because they said there's a whole bunch of references from the previous games in there. Now, if I hadn't played the previous games, I would have missed all that. All the great interactions and stuff, I would have gone, oh, this character's nice, but I didn't know the backstory behind the relationship. So, go play the first one, then hype up Rebirth, I guess.
Yeah, like with the spirits of fate and remake, like, and I say it as I was streaming it, that like every time they show up to try to keep the events that happened in the original game the way they're supposed to happen. For example, when Cloud wakes up, and Tifa runs to his room and he's just like, something's happening at the 7th Heaven bar, and you run out and those spirits, they're like all over the ward, and you're like trying to fight through them to get there. And the entire purpose is because Cloud was supposed to be on their next mission, but things had changed, almost kind of like the butterfly effect, but so many little things had changed so much that like it got to the point where Barrett had decided he didn't want Cloud to be on the next mission. He didn't really like him anyway, but he didn't want him on the next mission. And so he just paid him his due, as that he owed him, and was like, you can leave now, because this is about Avalanche here. We're going to have our little celebration. And Cloud was out. That was you see the kind of spirits in the background moving around when that happened. That was like a sign that something wasn't right. And so they intervened at that part. And when you notice when they just went away, and they didn't, because they didn't stop them. The spirits left when they knocked what's the girl's name? She was so stuck on Cloud the whole time. Jessie. When they knock Jessie off the stairs and she sprains her ankle, that's when they leave, because Jessie can't do the mission now. And now Barrett has to bring Cloud on the mission. And that keeps the timeline going, because Cloud needed to be on that mission so he could fall off the reactor, land in the church, and meet up with Aerith again. It's all connected. And it's like, if you don't understand these things, how do you play Rebirth if you don't understand why certain things happened and the way that they happened? It's just, it's foolishness. It's like, and you can't even have this conversation with some of these people, because when you do, then they can start like being real disingenuous and trying to gaslight you into thinking that like you're just some nerd that don't get it, or so what, it's not that serious. No, we know it's not that serious. And taking you seriously is not that serious. And so I really wish that the people in this community stop giving these people the engagement that they're looking for. They're just saying things that they think you want to hear to get you to look at their content, to get you to look or comment or anything they have to say, so they can continue to keep getting free stuff. That's all they care about. They're fake as hell.
I don't hate the hustlers, man. It's the game.
Yep.
Like, there's definitely a lot of frauds, but it is what it is. Like, this community is built on fraudulent behavior, and folks just like to be lied to. It's just, people just like to be lied to. That's really what I mean, it's not just this community. It's, if you look at the political landscape too, people just like to be lied to. They like to have their feelings reinforced. They like to be coddled, and they just want to hear what they want to hear, regardless of whatever the truth might be. So I definitely hear you, though. It is frustrating to see people speak about things without having any knowledge on the subject, and then presenting themselves in a manner in which they come off as an authority figure of the subject, when in reality they have no knowledge of it. I definitely get that.
Yep.
And you can tell the people, and I said this earlier before you came through, you can tell who's played something, or who's read something, or who's watched something versus someone who hasn't, because when they start talking, you're just like, wait, what are you talking about? Like, that didn't happen. Like, what are you saying right now? You know?
Yeah.
Or they
If you
don't have
start
the
asking
understanding of the
questions,
context. Yeah.
yeah, you
Uh,
start asking questions and get like real deep in things that you know happened in the game or in the movie, and they can't really have that conversation with you. It's very surface level. Oh, that was cool. Oh, that was awesome. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I didn't like that either. It's just like what
you know what's
you're just
you know
kind of just parroting what I'm saying. Like, do you do you really know what I'm talking about, or are
you
you
know what's
just
funny?
faking it?
This brought me back to remember the Forza Horizon thing.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't know
Yeah,
what you're talking about.
something like that. Yeah, it's like you can tell. You know instantly. Yeah, like zone in straight on it. Like, hang on a minute.
Why is it so quiet?
I don't know.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, Sigurd, I
What is happening?
don't what is going on? Sigurd, I don't know what you're referring to when you say Forza Horizon thing.
Remember,
You talking about the total users, or was it the total number of people who played the game, or something like that?
I wrote it in private chat.
Okay. He's just like, oh, I don't know who that
I
is.
yeah, you not. I don't know, man. You're gonna
I
have to
need you to
give us
can you
more
do
than that.
like do they have like you can like their do they have like an alternate name?
This is not
Remember,
helping at all. Saying I don't know what you. Can you just like give us like 3 sentences to explain what you're talking about?
I bet Autumn would know what the fuck he's referring to because she likes the Forza stuff. Oh! Oh, that was so inconsequential. I could not even fucking remember that.
Oh yeah,
That you are
yeah,
so
yeah,
right. You're 100% correct.
yeah,
It was exactly like that. You're right. You're
yeah,
right.
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah. It's
hmm
also like how someone damn, do I even want to bring this person up? No, I'm not gonna bring it up because I don't want to get I don't want to cause any drama. So we're just gonna move on. But all I'll say
I already know who you thinking about. So yeah, it's like that. Yes,
it's just
it's
like
very much
that,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah, it's these people who want to
Yeah.
be a part of a conversation, want to be a part of the community, but they don't do anything that actually makes them like legitimately a part of that. Like, there's so many people in this community that talk about games that they don't play. They love to throw out lists of exclusive games that are coming to their favorite platform. But are you playing any of these games? Have you played any of these games? Like I see it so often. I've seen people brag about we got the best JRPGs over here. You don't play any of them. So what are you bragging about? Like what are you doing? And it's too much of that in this community. There's not enough people talking about it's supposed to be a gaming community, but like y'all, it's like you
It's
guys are
not a gaming
actually,
community. So
yeah, you're not fans of games, you're fans of the corporations
hmm
that make the games. And so in that way, you feel like you don't need to play the games in order to champion the corporations. Why y'all care so much about Metacritic scores, and you care so much about monthly active users, and you contribute to none of that.
I mean, it's
You
not only
don't
that slow.
buy the game, and you're not a monthly active user because you don't play it either. Go
It's
ahead.
not only that. It's because people don't care that if that folks don't play games. They don't care.
Right, right.
Um, you know,
All they
like
care
it doesn't.
about is that they're capping for the same side that they're capping for.
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah.
And this has been like a long-standing thing. It's like you don't actually have to you don't actually have to play games to be a content creator in this community. Yeah, I am speaking from experience. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But you're
but
honest about that, though.
Yeah.
These
yes,
people
I
hmm
aren't
am.
honest that they don't play games. They talk about them like they do, and then they get upset at review scores for games that didn't even come out yet that they haven't played. And it's just
And have
On,
like,
no
how do you
intentions of
know?
playing. Yeah.
Yeah,
on,
have no
on,
intentions of playing.
on a slight tangent. Remember when Xbox announced all the games, the games coming to PlayStation? The ripple effects are already happening because I watched the Age of Empires stream for the year, New Year, New Age. they have every year, and the upcoming DLCs for all their games, and the new mobile game, which looks really, really good. Loads of people in my chat was like, "When's this coming to PS5? When on PS5? When on PS5? When on PlayStation?" And I'm like, "It's already started." And I'm like,
I said that's why I said it was going to happen.
"Yep."
That's why they shouldn't have
It's
did
like,
it.
yep. Because the stream was just full of, "When's this coming to PS5?" And I was like, I didn't know there was that many strategy fans over there, but I guess there are. This. Then I had the second question when I looked at chat. I was like, "Why is it taking you so long to play Age of Empires if you love it so much?" But none of my business. But yeah, you know?
How about Xbox created a Korean YouTube channel
Yes.
for Hi-Fi Rush? And I'm like, wow, this game's been out for over a year. How come you didn't create this YouTube channel when it came out on Xbox? Interesting. So
because
you
they
waited
never
till it
do
came out?
things the way they're supposed to when they're supposed
Nope.
to.
Not at all. So you did zero. You did not promote. They've already done more marketing for Hi-Fi Rush than they've done for they ever did for it on Xbox. And then, so if it's successful on other platforms, well, hey, of course it is, because you actually let people know the game existed. And you didn't just say, "Hey, look, it's in Game Pass."
All they did
Shadow
was
drop.
shadow drop it. Yeah, the developer direct, and that was it. Like no fanfare or anything.
Actually, that's a great point. I have seen a little bit more focus for Hi-Fi Rush now versus in comparison to when it initially dropped. Man, they don't care about Xbox at all, do they?
They
Oh,
do
and then
not.
like in the Pentiment photo, I think it was Pentiment, right? The Xbox version was all the way in the back. That was Pentiment, right?
That's what, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was Sea of Thieves.
Was it Sea of
No,
Thieves?
it was
But
Pentiment.
it was one of
Pentiment.
them. It was one of those games. They put the Xbox version all the way in the back. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was Pentiment.
And the hilarious thing was when it didn't come up with the Xbox logo, but MLB The Show comes up with the PlayStation logo on Xbox. But then when they showed you the marketing thing, it didn't pop up with Xbox. It just popped up with PlayStation, and I was like, "Oh man, it feels rough. It must be rough for people who love their plastic box." The fact there won't be Xbox marketing on it is crazy. Like the Xbox logo when it boots up. So at least I think it might be.
Yeah, I'm double checking to see if the Xbox account at all has mentioned Pentiment since it has been announced for multi-platform, because I checked this when they had when Pentiment was first coming out.
That was like a big thing,
And
right? Like they weren't mentioning
Yeah,
their
they did.
games that were.
yeah, they didn't talk about the game at all. It was their only first party game that year. They had second party games that year, and even though Grounded was officially came out in that year, it was in early access for over the year earlier. This was their only like new release that was first party that year, and they did zero marketing for the game. Didn't talk. Tweets are free. And you couldn't even get your Xbox account to talk about the game. So I'm looking through now to see if the Xbox account has been at all talking about Pentiment, because it's funny that, like, when it was just on Xbox, you didn't speak on it. But I wonder if that has changed now that it's going to other places.
The only people doing promotion is because I follow Josh Sawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he was working on the game, so he was posting a crap ton about it. Obsidian,
Right.
obviously, I follow, so they were posting a crap ton about it. And then Pentiment, the actual Twitter handle for Pentiment, was tweeting about it. But that was it. Like, and obviously, I was like, "Yo, he was explaining the game afterwards and stuff like that, and insight into what's coming." But it was like, "Where's Xbox?" All I see is Obsidian and the lead writer. Hello? No one pushing Pentiment? It's a fantastic game as well. That's the worst thing.
I don't know why. You know what? They've talked about Pentiment more now that it's gone multi-platform than they did when it was an exclusive. I'm seeing the tweets about it. So Yeah, I mean, it's just like, and then they'll be like, well, we had to do this because these games weren't selling, we weren't getting the engagement. And I'm like, you don't put the work in to get the results that you claim you want on the Xbox platform. So why would anyone be buying these games if you don't market them and the larger audience, not us this hardcore gamers that are like tuned into what's going on. The casual gamer that might be interested in that game, or the casual gamer that might be interested in Hi-Fi Rush if they knew it existed. You're not doing anything. Like the Super Bowl happened and the only commercial that was Xbox related during the Super Bowl was the Halo TV show, and I guarantee you that was probably Paramount Plus marketing instead of Xbox marketing.
I mean, Super Bowl stuff's pretty expensive.
It is.
They're Microsoft. Like,
I understand. I mean, clearly they have an allotted budget for Xbox.
Yeah, and it's like your
Super Bowl
son's
money,
allowance.
man.
It's like your son's allowance,
I will have to say,
here's $10
Love you,
bucks, okay?
Saz.
I will have to say they didn't have money for a Super Bowl ad, but they had money to light up that dome in Vegas and with Xbox things. I'm like, so you had the money to light up a dome.
That's a good point.
In
That's
Vegas,
a good point.
But you had the money to do that, or you could have had an ad on the Super Bowl, which is a huge thing in America.
They don't give a fuck about Xbox, dude. I'm gonna keep it a stack
Nope.
with you, dude. Like, they don't care. It's like their little pet project off to the side. Now, I know that some people are gonna be like, okay, they didn't spend all that money to not care about Xbox. I just think that, like, in comparison to Microsoft's other products, Xbox is not as prevalent. You know what I'm saying? They care enough to invest money in it, obviously. But they are, by putting their games on other platforms, what else could be the motivating factor if not money? You know what I'm saying? So they are not getting that return investment that they were looking for, I guess.
Well, I mean, the relationship between Microsoft and Xbox is weird because when you looked at it, it brought in more money than Windows, right? On their last financial thing. So Xbox was doing better than Windows.
Okay.
Well, that was in combination with ABK.
Well, yes, of course. Yeah, you have to add on ABK. So they finally took over Windows, and everyone's like, "Oh, look at that!" It's like, yeah, but you didn't know about the ABK was tacked onto that. But even then, it's like, that's what I don't get. They don't do all this marketing, but they're willing to drop $70 billion on Activision.
I mean, yeah, that's because they want those games in their repertoire. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Portfolio.
Portfolio is probably better, but yeah. Like Phil's title is CEO of Microsoft Gaming.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's about Microsoft. It's not about Xbox. It's about Microsoft Gaming, and they envision a time period that they may never like do away with the Xbox branding, but the way we view what Xbox is clearly is not the way they view what Xbox is. They've said it before. We heard Sarah Bond say this multiple times. And I don't necessarily agree with it, but it's their worldview of things. That if you got a smart TV with the Xbox app on it, that's an Xbox. Anything that you can, any screen that you can play our games on is an Xbox to them. And I feel like it is like a self-fulfilling prophecy of them not doing the right things for years in order to get better engagement, better sales, and better market share in the console market that has them feeling like, well, we could never do those things. It was never going to be better. It's of course it's not when you don't try to do better, if you don't take the shots that you need to take to make it better. And I mean, we said it multiple times already that like you got studios you acquired 6 years ago damn, 6 years ago, that haven't
You're
dropped
so
games
old.
for you yet. Yeah. They haven't dropped games for you yet. And you've already, like, before they can get their first game out under you, you're like, nah, it's for the streets now.
I see. This is the weird
We're
thing.
multi-plat now.
Like they proved they could do well. Look at the 360 generation. You know, they were going out there. Everyone like the third party exclusives were going nuts. Obviously, but that was also partly because PlayStation, the PS3. Like if you looked at the Skyrim, it was complete ass on PS3, but it was great on the 360
Oh
because of
yeah,
the
I
way
remember
the
that. Yeah.
PS3 was.
A lot
So
of multi-plats were.
a lot of third parties were like, "Yo, let's give you the exclusive to this. We'll give Xbox the exclusive to this." They had a whole bunch of exclusive Japanese games. The Japanese market was fucking with the 360. Like Xbox One happened, dead, and it's like, wow, and you couldn't recover.
It was
Hey,
like the naming convention. All the
mm-hmm.
fucking I mean, we know what happened.
Yeah,
We know
we
what
know.
happened. We don't have to rehash it. Oh my god, us even discussing this makes me think about all those podcasts I used to listen to where they would talk about this shit like constantly, man. I used to listen to like 6 or 7 podcasts a week. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I will never forget my time doing that because I really do appreciate the things that I learned and the relationships I cultivated during that time. But yeah, it really was like fucking Groundhog Day, talking about the
It
same
really
shit, you
was.
know what
Mhm.
I'm saying?
And the thing is, they couldn't move on from it, and it was the same. It's like, see, Nintendo managed to move on. You look at the Wii U, colossal failure. Switch, banger success. And then it's like, and then all the fans, no Nintendo fan talks about the Wii U.
That's true,
But
yeah.
they probably say it doesn't exist. Like all they care
Right.
about now is the Switch and what it's getting. And and the best part is a lot of the Wii U games were ported over to the Switch, and people thought they were new games for the Switch, not knowing they were Wii U games. That's how irrelevant the Wii U was. And it's like, eh, Nintendo could do it. So what's up with you, Microsoft and
That's
Xbox? You know?
because I don't know, man. It's just different mentalities, you know what I'm saying? But okay, let's go ahead and get these channel number topics and fucking skedaddle, dude. Like, goddamn. I am so fucking ready. I'm so ready for these topics because I actually got a lot of them this time. Shout out to y'all. If you remember, submit topics for the show, man. That's
Yes.
your purview. You know, that's your right, man. Okay, so Yobi's from 57 seconds ago is saying this is for slow mo. If you had a business meeting with
Okay.
Microsoft for the Xbox division, what will be the changes you advise them on? You said some interesting things in the past.
First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tell them you need to find the smartest person in the gaming industry that works in every other region in the world that you seem to have ignored for the past 20 years. And you need to bring them in. You need to give them every resources that they need, and you need to learn what Sony and Nintendo have done when it comes in the process in the terms of localizing your games. And you need to understand the cultures of these regions of the world where you put your games so that you understand how to market to them, because your brand name, your brand power in these regions is low. And although these areas don't all make as much money and revenue in gaming that the Americas do, the United States do, or Europe does, but you suck in Europe horribly because not all of Europe speaks English. You suck in Africa. You do okay in South America, but you suck in Asia. And Asia is 50% of the market. Like China's huge, and you're not tapping into that. You're not tapping into Korean gamers that like a lot of the same genres of games that you make. And so I would say the first thing to do is actually do the work that your competitors have been doing for decades, and you're going to have to catch up to them. But this is the only way you're going to be successful, because I fully 1000% believe they're going to put all their games on other platforms, on other console rival platforms, and they still won't sell as well because they don't know how to sell their games. They are a productivity and technology company. They have made their bones and become the richest company in the world on productivity products. Office, productivity. Nobody cares about where they get office. They just need office for work. No one cares about where you're putting the cloud, just as long as I have access to it. This is entertainment. It's different. And they never understood entertainment. No one gets hyped about doing a Excel spreadsheet or a Visio diagram, but they get excited for playing a great video game. They create bonds with the community of other gamers who played that game and had the same excitement. They get into it. And they built this up, and even though you have sucked at it, you have still garnered brand loyalty from people who enjoyed the games that you had made in the past. That's why they're here. And if you throw all that away, what are you going to have left? And if your games don't sell on other platforms, you threw it all away for nothing. So that's why I tell them, but I'm pretty sure they've heard that before from some of the people who work there already and have ignored it. So, be typical big, huge tech company that thinks they know everything because they're the richest company in the world. And that arrogance will continue to bite them in the butt as it has for year upon year upon year. And we'll see how it all plays out.
Sweet.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Ronald says,
Thanks, Joby. Sorry. I said
no,
I was saying thanks, Joby.
No, you're good. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Yobi. Ronald says, this has been the most underwhelming console generation so far. Damn, we just got started, right? No? It's been 3 years?
No, we're 4 years in.
No, we're 4 years in,
4
you're right. PlayStation was was failing on the PlayStation was failing on the back end the whole time while Xbox was flopping on the front.
He's not wrong.
Was flopping on the front end. With everything that's going on with layoffs and the waste in Bungie, do you see another rise in game prices or subscription? I definitely see a rise in subscription costs. Didn't we already see a rise with PlayStation? And
Yes, we did.
we're gonna see a rise
was a
with
pretty
Xbox
significant rise. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I canceled my PS Plus off of that. I was like, nah, I'm good. I don't even use PS Plus like that on your side anyway, so I don't need this. It was basically me wasting money. And thank you for letting me, increasing the price so significantly with zero payoff, zero additional benefits, and let me know I need to just, save that $100 and whatever dollars I was spending.
I would love it if a pony could correct me, but I rebought it when they mentioned that their cloud saves were tied to the subscription.
But that was how like for a while Microsoft was basically using actually done a lot of this stuff, but like even apps, like back in the day, like using Netflix on an Xbox was tied to your Xbox Live Gold subscription.
Mhm.
And it's just like it was and then of course, free to play games still, tied to your Xbox Live subscription to a certain point. And it was because they knew that there were people who were only subscribed to the service to have access to that. And so they were forcing you, putting a paywall there in order to keep you in that system. And Sony is no different. That's why cloud saves are in there.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, I was concerned about my saves for Elden Ring, so I was like, let me go ahead and buy this shit real quick because I don't care about playing anything else on the PlayStation
Yeah.
right now. But I do
Well,
need my
if you don't
Elden Ring
uninstall
shit.
it, you're good.
What's up, King Pro?
Yeah.
I think that joint's uninstalled, bro. I'm gonna go ahead and reinstall that
Yeah.
shit.
Also,
answer
they did this thing with PS5, which I really hate, is that you can't offload your game saves. So
Yeah.
let's say if
wow,
you
you
decide to
can't?
uninstall it, then no, you can't. They don't allow you to take your game saves and move them to like a USB or
I
something.
think
So that
used to do that with the PlayStation 4. They let you do that, right?
yes, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, because let me tell y'all something real quick, and then Singer, I'll let you, because you were saying something too. I remember when the very first time I played Bloodborne, I got to where did I got to Yarnum. I wasn't too far ahead. No, I got to Old Yarnum. I got to Old Yarnum the first time I played Bloodborne, right? And my saves, I accidentally deleted them. I deleted my save file. I overwrote it, right? And I was like so devastated by what happened. And again, this was my very first time playing Bloodborne. So I like the fact that I love the game enough to actually go through the beginning part again says a lot, right? But I ended up getting a USB and offloading my fucking saves to that after I lost my copy of Bloodborne because I was like, this shit's never gonna fucking happen again, okay? Never again. I don't know what I feel like. And so I was thinking about this because I work in IT, right? I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking about this as I was looking at this computer model it's that we have, right? And then I was looking at like the updated model. And the updated model, like the model that we used before had an HDMI, had USB-A and then USB type C, right? But then the quote unquote updated model, all it has is the USB type C, but peripherals still use USB type A. You know what I'm saying? And it's just kind of like, even though this is quote unquote updated technology, it's still taking away the basic stuff that people were using and forcing adaptation. You know what I'm saying? Even though again,
Mm-hmm.
once again, lots of a lot of the peripherals that exist still use USB type A. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like you got to get a fucking adapter in order to even use the ports properly. And it's annoying. I actually bought a Bluetooth headset for work because of that reason. Um, when I was working with some of these other computers, and I was looking at like a old model computer that was actually running Windows 7, and the computer was just like it was so cool. You know what I'm saying? Like it had its own removable battery, like easily removable battery, and it had like this lock on it. So you had to like put in a code in order to even get into like it's just like a lot of this random shit that was just like it's so weird that this stuff they take away so much stuff as technology advances. And that's like something with the PlayStation, why they took away your ability to well, I mean, we know why. Because they want people to pay for
Mm-hmm.
cloud saves. That's why.
Right.
So,
Right.
Yeah. Um, in answer to his question, though, um,
and
the
was
generation,
I'm sorry,
the
go ahead.
generation has been, yeah, it has been underwhelming. I mean, he's not wrong. Like PlayStation flopping on the back end, like they had a great start with a whole bunch of exclusives, but now look at them, they're relying on third party and deals and stuff, and you only had one game last year, and it looks like you're probably not going to get one game. Well, you had Helldivers 2, I guess, if technicality, but an Xbox launched with absolutely no games, um, exclusive first party. So now they're getting around to it, but it's like this generation it hasn't felt like there's anything generation defining, like a
Yeah, I
game
can agree
that's
with that.
like it's this stamp this generation as this is the generation of. I mean, GTA 6 is going to be the de facto, I think, just because it's coming out this generation, right? Um, but I don't know. It just underwhelming generation. It does feel like it. Like, yeah, the games have been good, but have they been revolutionary? No. Mm.
What about Baldur's Gate?
See, Baldur's Gate is. I'd say that is one of the generation defining games, but it's even then it's still Baldur's Gate. Like it's
What
still the
about
top
Tears of the Kingdom?
downs. I mean, that's also a dodgy thing because people said Breath of the Wild was last generation, but the Switch was out last generation, and they don't have a new console yet. So does that count as this generation or
Oh,
previous
that's a good
generation?
point. No, you're right. That's a good point.
Yeah.
No, that's a
So
good point. You're right.
yeah, Nintendo's weird, really weird with that. So
Yeah.
when just PlayStation and Xbox, it's like, is there anything like was Spider-Man 2 a massive revolution
No.
like of the new generation over 2018 was
No.
God of
You don't
War
even have to
Ragnarok,
finish it.
God of War 20
You don't even have to finish asking that
was
question. The answer is no. All right, for
was
Spider-Man 2 for
Horizon
sure.
was Horizon over Horizon 2018 over or whenever it was Zero Dawn.
No, I mean, I feel like you're making. I mean, Elden Ring.
Again, but it's
But
Elden
it's
Ring
also
is
on
another.
PS4, right?
Hey
PS4
guys, I
and
gotta
Yeah, it's
run.
cross
sure.
generation.
Catch you
All
later.
right. Yes, see
All
you
right.
later. So,
Later, guys. Great chat, great conversations as usual. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Play some damn games. All right, I'm
All
out.
right, catch you later, brother.
see you later. But yeah,
No, you're
just
right,
doesn't.
because Elden Ring was on PlayStation 4 and Xbox. I fucking forgot. No, I guess you're right. Yeah, you're right. It's a good point, man. We're definitely seeing. We're gonna see another rise in that price subscription. I don't know about the game prices in general.
I think it will
Yeah.
because the costs are going up for these games that keep rising. Everyone's acknowledged that the cost of games is like the budget. That's why PlayStation was on about their margins being so low because of how much it costs and how much
These
they get
budgets
back
are
on
out
the
of
game.
fucking control, dude. And it's not just like the gaming space, Hollywood too. Hollywood too.
Yes,
Budgets are out of fucking control, dude.
and that brings me back to the developer on Shared Spawnwave, who, and I've seen quite a few people now say this. If it doesn't get dialed back, we're probably beyond the point of no return. There will be a crash because the budgets will get so high. People will they'll just bottom out and they'd have to reset the budgets and a crash will happen in the AAA gaming space. And I think we're just headed to that point. 5 years down the line, the budgets will be so big that no one can sustain it anymore and they have to just crash everything and start fresh, I guess.
Yeah.
Because
No, I can agree with that. Smitty says, let's talk about. Oh, I'm sorry. Ooh, my bad, Yobi. Okay, Yobi says, panel, what is a personal goal for yourself? And also stay safe, stay lifted. Luca, always believing in you, homie. Peace, love, life. Shout out to you, my boy. Personal goal for myself. I need to lose the last 20 fucking pounds. Like, I'm so fucking lazy. Oh my god. I need to lose this last 20 pounds and so I can be just done with it. You know what I'm saying? Um and it would only take like 4 months. Like, I need to get it together. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it together, bitch. Get it together. But I gotta lose this last 20 pounds. Once I do that, I'm good. Like, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I just need to stop being lazy. I just, I've just been maintaining my weight and chilling. I've been in, you know, I'm not gonna say enjoying food because that's not true. Okay, like I have not been enjoying food. Food has been very difficult to get down. Actually, I had Five Guys the other day, the food place, and those Cajun fries fucked my stomach up so badly that it had me like contemplating my life choices. I was sick. I actually bought Pepto Bismol for the first time ever. I'm old, like my body is just shutting down slowly. I'm slowly losing it. So, anyway, losing the last 20 pounds, that's my goal. What about you, Singer? Personal goal?
personal goal, what for this year or just in general? Because
No,
my
in general.
personal goal is by the time it's 35, I want to be in the perfect position because then I want to get up to my 40s rock solid, and then as soon as I hit 40, I could just sail through after 40, just no issues, no problems. So get everything I can get done now between now and 40,
Hmm.
and then whether it be health or whether it be money or whatever, and then just course through after that. So yeah, that's my goal.
Nice. I'm sorry, I'm looking at some of these comments.
Yep.
That's why I had to clarify the Five Guys comment, dude. Like, y'all are not about to get me. Um, Tristan wants to talk about indie games like The Little Devil Inside or Elden Ring. We talked about Elden Ring. Have you played The Little Devil Inside?
I have not.
Okay. I've not seen many people talk about that actually. Um, okay, I'm gonna look into it. Let's see. Little Devil Inside reemerges with an apology and some gameplay. An apology for what? The hell? We've not forgotten. Oh, several years of silence. Oh, it's because they've been like cooking in the background. All right. Hmm. Cool. But yeah, we talked about Elden Ring earlier, Tristan, if you want to hear about that and our thoughts on it. And shout out to Imar bin Israel saying, "Hey, Luca and friends, I hope you and your families are doing okay." I just have to ask you, family or friends, have you or your family friends been experiencing these phone outages that have been going on? If so, what are your thoughts about it? Because officially it said a solar flare caused the disruption. Solar flare. But folks have been bringing up the Leave the World Behind movie as a foreboding event. Um, so thank fucking God I don't have AT&T. Um, so I was perfectly fine. AT&T is trash though, dude. Like generally speaking, AT&T is fucking garbage. It's so bad. I'm getting mad thinking about that service. It's really bad, you know what I'm saying? I don't think it's like an end of the world thing. I think that AT&T fucking sucks, dude, as a company. They're trash. They suck, man. Like
That's unfortunate.
yeah.
Because over here, our companies are very competitive. I mean, there's only a couple. We don't have as many as you, don't think. But like, there's like three major ones: Sky, Virgin, and BT,
Mhm.
and they're all generally comparable. So we never have that issue of oh, only Sky's available in this area. Oh, that's fine. Or only Virgin's available in this. Oh, that's fine. It's like, you can't really go wrong. But I've heard a lot about AT&T, and I've heard a lot about Verizon as well from my American friends.
Yeah, Verizon fucks you in the ass with how expensive they are. Sprint's I don't know, Sprint's whatever. I never see anybody talking about Sprint at this point. Anecdotal, Avi. I have T-Mobile and they're fine. I get service consistently for the most part. There are some areas where I don't have it, but that they're like enclosed areas and the tech areas, the tech space I'm in, right? And then yeah, AT&T is just fucking garbage. It's just bad. It sucks. It really sucks, man. So, yeah,
Do you have
I feel
Vodafone?
hmm?
Do you have Vodafone in America?
Older phone?
Vodafone.
Vodafone?
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
if
No,
we do, I don't know about it.
that's who my mobile phone's with. Is
Okay.
Vodafone, and they're really good. I mean, we have T-Mobile and stuff like that over here as well, but
Mhm.
like, yeah, that's who I'm with. I just wondered if they had them in America or not.
They might. Maybe not in my area, but they might.
Hmm. I'll have to look into that.
Smitty
Curious.
said AT&T is top 3 in the South. Well, I'm not in the South, my guy. Central time, baby. Smack dab in the middle. Um, okay. Mm, T-Mobile bought Sprint. Oh, that's why nobody talks about them. I fucking forgot that happened. See how inconsequential that shit is? How much it just does not matter. Okay. But yes, Sprint is T-Mobile now. Cool. Okay. The normal Five Guys friends are better. Yeah, they are fucking better. They don't make me sick. So waffle fries are pretty good. Personal goal is to continue hitting the gym every day, 12 days straight. Time to start taking health more serious. I'm gonna give you some tips, my guy. You don't have to go to the gym every day. That's the first one. Um, losing weight, it's about calories in, calories out. It's more so you can lose weight by just eating properly. I would not recommend just eating properly though. I do say you need to work out too because you need to be concerned with losing muscle mass as well when you're losing because when you're losing weight, it's not just fat, it's also going to be muscle, you know what I'm saying? Especially depending on the manner in which you choose to lose weight. But yeah, it's about having a consistent diet and it's not even a diet per se. It's a lifestyle change. You're changing your lifestyle. You're changing things forever basically, you know? You're changing your eating habits, you're changing how much you consume, you're being more mindful of that, and you're being more mindful of how much you move as well. I recommend lifting weights. You that is a big thing that will help. More so than just losing weight, you want to be able to tone your body. You know what I'm saying? Loose skin is always going to play a factor depending on how well, it's genetics are the biggest thing, right? But also how long you've been obese and how old you are also play a factor as well. It becomes harder to lose weight the older that you get. Not impossible, just harder. So some things to keep in mind. But you don't need to go to the gym every single day because you're gonna end up hurting yourself, and if you end up hurting yourself, then you won't be able to get back into the gym, because especially when it comes to people who are first starting out losing weight, you could go to the gym every day and not hurt yourself, but that's usually for people who have been doing it for a while and are more mindful. Or they have a split, so you could do arms one day, legs the next day, shoulders another day, you know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. And that's how you could go to the gym every day. I would recommend incorporating cardio along with weightlifting, but I say that weightlifting is king when it comes to weight loss, more so than just cardio. But cardio is also important. I think that you should do both. But mostly it is being mindful of what you eat. And I think the biggest thing is people underestimate how many calories they are consuming. They don't factor things like syrup or barbecue sauce or ketchup. Those have calories as well. They add up. And it's also not just eating things, being mindful of your calorie count. You also have to be mindful of your nutrition as well. Your nutrition is very important because you could lose weight eating fast food if you made sure you ate 500 under your TDEE, right? But that's not healthy, it's not good for you, it's more than just the calorie counting, it's just making sure you're eating things that are, well balanced and nutritious. Also, a big, 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 big factor, I would say, is managing your sleep schedule. That is a major part of the weight loss process because you could be doing everything else right, but if you are not getting enough sleep, your body will hold on to that fat. It will cling to it. It'll cling to that fat. All right. So you got to fix your sleep schedule as well. You got to get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep, which means you got to stop staying up all night playing video games. I know I had to do this. That means being consistent with your sleep schedule and waking up at the same time, even on the weekends. It's difficult, but these things are possible. Sleep is a major. I'm telling you, I'm other than making sure you're counting your calories and being mindful of how much you're eating, sleep is like the other biggest factor because there are so many health complications that come from not getting enough sleep. And people, I harp on slow-mo a lot about this. I harp on a lot of my older friends a lot about this, but it is a very, very important thing that we don't get enough of because as gamers, especially for a lot of y'all, you have your wives, you have your kids, you work full time. It's difficult to find time to yourself where you can actually indulge in your hobby. And that time to yourself is typically after the kids go to bed. So it's around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. You're up until 11:30, 12 o'clock. You end up going to sleep, and then you got to be up at 6 or 7 in order to get ready to go to work. It's not enough sleep. You are running yourselves ragged, and it is affecting your health as well. So, these are things that play into it. I'm going to link a website that you guys can use that I use when it came to losing weight. It actually fucking helped. And you cannot be afraid of the scale. The scale is there to denial is a big thing when it comes to being obese. You don't want to acknowledge how big you are or how big you've gotten. A lot of it is about it's like there's some body dysmorphia that goes in there as well. You don't really see yourself clearly, negatively or positively, and so the scale can be the biggest tool that you can use in your weight loss journey. If you weigh yourself every day, you can start keeping track of the trends essentially. So if you eat salty food a night before, you're going to weigh more the day after. If you drink the night before, you're going to weigh more the day after. It's just if you don't drink enough water, that's going to lead to issues as well. It's like this. There are 3,500 calories in a pound. If you know that you are eating properly because you're tracking your calories, it is impossible to gain a pound of fat overnight if you're eating like your right the proper amount of calories. If you know you're not hitting that 3,500, which means that it's something else playing a role. It's something else playing a factor. There's a lot of um, psychological stress that comes with seeing what that weight is on the scale. But once you start actually weighing yourself daily, it takes away the power. It gives you the power. And so you can be like, okay, obviously I didn't gain 5 pounds overnight, like, there's other shit going on, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's probably something I ate, maybe I didn't get enough sleep, maybe I didn't drink enough water. So, but I do wanna say it is completely possible to lose the weight. It's possible to maintain the weight and keep it off. I'll say this, I lost 30 pounds, and then I gained back, like, 60, right? And then I lost the 60. So, it's, like, it's if you put your mind to it and you are actually committed to the change, you can do it. But another big thing is that you have to do this for yourself. You have to be committed for yourself. The only person who will ever be there for you 100% of the time is you, yourself. You're the one who picks yourself up every day. You're the one who makes these choices. So you got this, you know? So shout out to Nautical saying, "Luca, I love you." That came from the heart. Thank you. Of course. Yes, Avi. Love you too. Oh, he did?
I mean,
Shout out to Persona. Go ahead.
yes, that was a big thing. Obviously, now I get plenty of sleep. Like I can easily clock 8 hours, no problem.
Nice. Yeah, I try to get listen, I try to be in bed by 10 and I gotta be up at
Sometimes I sleep like 9 hours.
yeah, that's good, man. It's good to get enough sleep. The air fryer is also your fucking friend. The air fryer is fucking amazing. I love my air fryer. Love, love, love it. Use it almost every day. So, okay. But yeah, man, shout out to Persona then. Good for him. Good, good, good. I'm seeing oh my god, thank you, Lino. But yeah, I'm seeing all the tips in the chat. I love that, guys. We should be here for each other, you know? We should be promoting health overall. The fact that people oh my god, the fact that there's like this quote unquote anti-diet trend, anti-health trend where it's like we all should love how we look and blah blah blah. But like, bro, it's not just about how you look. It's about how you feel. And maybe you don't feel it now because you're in your early 20s. But when you start getting old, like me, older that is, then it starts to fucking affect you. All right. I started getting really sick. I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. I lost weight. Um because I started getting really sick. You know, like at 27, things that it never affected me before started to affect me. I started getting really sick and they could not figure out what the fuck was wrong with me. So I was like, okay, let me go ahead and start working on losing this weight. And yeah, I've I'm better mental health wise. I'm better um physically than I've been in my entire life. I feel like again, I still have a lot of those fucking 20 pounds to go, but overall, I'm in a good space, and it's because I started eating correctly, I started sleeping properly, and I started working out. You gotta move your body, and, these things matter. You wanna be here for a long time, especially for those who have families, their own families, you know what I'm saying? Like, kids and your wives or your husbands, boyfriends, significant others, that kind of thing, right? You want to make sure that you are there for your family. You want to be there to see your kids get married if that's what they choose to do. You know, you want to be there for your grandkids. It's just something to keep in mind. Staying up late all night, every night playing video games is not fucking healthy. It's not healthy. It's not worth it. And at the end of the day, it comes down to this. You're gonna have to make a choice. And it's fucking sucks. It does suck, but you have to make a choice. What's more important? Spending all this time with my hobbies or my health? Yeah. Okay, that's all I gotta say.
Mm-hmm. Wow, look at that, Luca. You went over the 2 hours.
I know, I
You,
was fucking
you haven't done that in a while.
yeah.
And it went quiet.
Yeah, sorry. I was just reading some of these comments. Oh my god, Lionel, just give me a couple more months and I'll reveal everything, okay? I'm a little embarrassed still, okay? But anyway, once I hit my actual goal, oh bitch, I'm gonna post those pictures. I actually did a before and I did have a before and after picture. And I showed it to like the guys and they're like, "Oh wow, okay." And I was just like, "Ah, bitch, it's so awesome, you know?" So maybe I'll show you that. But anyway, we can just get out of here. Yeah, I listen, I was like, this show's about to be short as fuck. We're gonna get out of here. But guess what it was? Not short. So anyway, if you have any questions relating to health or weight loss, of course, I did want to say this. The very first thing, the very, very first thing that you want to do before you start your weight loss journey is go and see your doctor, okay? Go see your doctor, have a physical, make sure you don't have some underlying condition that makes it difficult to lose weight because that's going to fuck you up if you do. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, the doctor will give you what your current weight is, what's your blood work is hidden for, all that, you know? So that's the first thing you want to do. Make sure you don't have any underlying conditions before you start working on losing weight because that could cause some problems. But yeah, talk to your health professional first, and then if you have any if you want any general tips, I got them. All right, let's get the fuck up out of here, man.
Indeed, Persona 3 Reload ain't gonna play itself.
Yes. Oh Lord, let me go ahead and load that fucking game up. Love you guys. I'll catch you
Mhm.
later. See you later, Singer.
See you later.
All right, bye guys.
Bye.